been in business 135 years, ransomware, they were out of business in 6 months.
Do you feel like it's inevitable now for all businesses?
100%. If I was to take away your key assets, your business couldn't generate revenue today, what would they be? And he couldn't answer me. They're always defaulting back to the technology. From my perspective, it's the complete wrong way to look at it.
You sort of came to me and said, I'm on a bit of a mission to try and help organisations kind of understand security a bit better. And we've also talked a bit about the board and the lack of understanding at the board.
Their backgrounds have traditionally been business leadership and financial skill sets.
Yeah.
Whereas now that skill set really needs to change, I think, because it needs to be more digitally focused.
Yeah.
Every business now, whether you're tech or not, is driven by technology. That's just the nature of what it is, right? So it's just really equipping them, I would say, with that knowledge and understanding of where they need to start when they are on a board and where they need to ask their senior leadership team, where are they at? You know, what's their health?
And I think we talked about this as well, isn't it? That the board has a very different focus overall. I mean, I still feel like there's a bit of a gap in what they should do about it. It's also like a bit of a lack of understanding of what the priority should be.
So I'm part of this UK IT leaders group, and we have monthly kind of roundtables, and there's, you know, CIOs, CTOs and all that kind of stuff that sit around the table. And even they themselves are still confused as to where they start. They're always defaulting back to the technology. From my perspective, it's the complete wrong way to look at it. A friend of mine is a COO for a food company. And we were in the car and we were talking about cybersecurity. And I said to him, if I was to take away your key assets today of your business, which meant your business couldn't generate revenue today, what would they be? And he couldn't answer me.
Wow.
So, and this is a big multinational food company. And that for me is where you start, right? So you start there. What is it I'm trying to protect? Whereas I think CIOs, CTOs, and apologies if they're listening and disagreeing, and you know, start with the tech, because that's the route that they've taken throughout their careers, right? And it's about flipping it. And I think looking at the business, looking at how the business generates money, what are their assets, and what is it you need to protect.
I think you're 100% right. If you look at a business, you said today, well, they have to, right, build a risk register of all the things, and that's not just security risks. That's like, what happens if the building gets flooded?
Yeah.
They're more than familiar with those. Is it almost just that kind of technology veneer that's kind of getting in the way of it?
The word cyber, just in and of itself, kind of creates this kind of mystical, you know, almost like it's tech, it's gadgetry, it's like we don't know how it works. We don't talk the same language as the rest of the business, and business leaders and other areas of the business get frustrated with us, and they don't engage with us as much as they should, perhaps, because we talk this different language. We talk in acronyms, you know, we talk in tech, and actually it's about understanding who you're talking to and the information at which they need to receive it at. And I was thinking actually earlier on today, you know, a lot of businesses outside of financial services or regulated industries don't necessarily look at it from a resiliency operational perspective. Like I said before, they just go straight to the tech. So yeah, it's really helping your board with the right questions that they should be asking, and really help. It's making them understand that don't look at it from a technology perspective. Yes, that's an element that can protect you, can prevent. You know, it won't stop.
Yeah.
Because you know people think, well, we just throw a load of money at it.
Yeah.
And we'll buy a load of tech, and we'll be okay. And we know that's not the case, right?
False sense of security. Feel like they've overspent on rubbish that doesn't work. Yeah. Gives a bad name to the security industry. All that sort of good stuff.
Yeah, and then that's when you get the revolving CISO door scenario.
Yeah.
Because the CISO spent all this money on tech, it didn't work, they got breached. And coming back to the board, I think it's important that they kind of take it back to layman's terms: operational risk, business risk, understanding it from that perspective. Do we know what we're trying? You know, what our key assets are? I call them the crown jewels. Start there. And just ask the question, is it protected? How is it protected? What happens if this was offline today or we couldn't access, you know, these records? You know, what would that mean to the business? Asking just basic, simple questions. You know, where is our data stored? What happens if someone took that data? Just really taking it back to basics from a board question perspective.